Mhm.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Kate Wu from U.S.-China Center for Educational and Cultural Exchange in Houston. The mission of U.S.-China Center is to improve the social status and the social influence of Chinese Americans in mainstream America and educate the next generation of Chinese Americans. The history of Chinese Americans in the United States began in the 19th century. Due to the historical reasons, the Chinese stories have not been told widely in American society. On May 30th of 2023, former Secretary of Labor and Transportation, Eileen Chao, published an article in Washington Post. She said, and I quoted, "Chinese American stories often were overlooked. Contributions to this country sometimes were forgotten, and the rights were challenged. It is time to recognize Chinese Americans. Therefore, we created This Is My Story project, telling Chinese American stories." The first guest of honor of this project is Dr. Ming Wang. He is most appropriate person to start this project because of his accomplishments and inspirational story. Dr. Wang, thanks for joining our program.
Thank you, Kate.
Yeah, first let me highlight Dr. Wang's accomplishments briefly. Dr. Wang, with 2 doctorate degrees, MD and PhD in laser physics. Dr. Wang is a world-class cataract and laser eye surgeon, philanthropist, and community activist. He is the founding director of Wang Vision Institute and a clinical professor for Meharry Medical College, both in Nashville, Tennessee. He was the first Chinese American serving on FDA ophthalmology committee. He is IR USA CEO, co-founder of Common Ground Network, founder of Wang Foundation for Sight Restoration. Dr. Wang has received numerous awards, including the Honor Award of the American Academy of Ophthalmology, the Lifetime Achievement Award of Association of Chinese American Physicians, and the honorary doctorate degree from Tribeca Nazarene University, NPR's Philanthropist of the Year Award, Kivani's Nashville of the Year Award for his lifetime dedication to helping blind orphan children from around the world. Without further ado, let Dr. Wang tell us his story. Hello again, Dr. Wang. So tell me about where you grew up and what was your education background before you come to the United States?
Let me show you some pictures where I came from. I grew up in the 1960s in China during a time called Cultural Revolution, where there are lots of turmoil and lots of doubts about one's future as a student. And I wasn't sure whether I would be able to go to school and be able to have a job, everything. Cultural Revolution ended in 1976. I got a chance to compete for admission for college, and I was very fortunate to be enrolled in the University of Science and Technology of China, the MIT of China. And then in 1982, with 2 other guys, we were dropped at National Airport, Washington, D.C. with that $50 with a Chinese English dictionary, knowing no one in this country, could hardly speak English. I started my life here in America. Very fortunate to really be able to have an opportunity to work and contribute to this country.
Wow. So you came to America after you graduated from the Chinese MIT, but you look like a college or high school student, like grown up in America. The middle person is you, right?
That's right. That's right. We with $700, 3 of us, 3 guys, we bought this big, gigantic used car called AMCL Matador. It was so huge. We named the M1. M1 is the biggest tank in the American military. So we named our first car in America M1.
Wow. Actually, you 3 are very handsome.
Thank you.
So what did you study after you came to America, and how did you get into Harvard Medical School?
after I've got my doctorate degree in laser physics, I wanted to be a one-of-a-kind laser eye surgeon. So not only I have mastered the expertise in laser physics with the first doctorate degree, I decided I need to get a second doctorate degree, this time in medicine. I was enrolled at Harvard Medical School and MIT. I joined MD program and then graduated 4 years later with an MD degree, magna cum laude from Harvard and MIT. So with these two doctorate degrees, one in laser physics, one in medicine, I felt that I could be a unique and a good laser eye surgeon who knows not just medicine, but also the physics laser aspect of it.
Wow. Most people, if they get a one doctorate degree, is already a lifetime achievement. You have two doctorate degree. I think you spend a lot of time in learning. This is really admirable. I read an article that you become a Christian while studying at Harvard Medical School. As a scientist, how did you become a Christian, or how did you resolve the conflict between science and religion if there is a conflict? Could you tell us more about this experience?
Yes, I was studying medicine and particularly ophthalmology, the structure of human eye at Harvard Medical School. And I discovered that the eye was so complex. And however, all these cells, trillions of cells to line up exactly right in order to produce eyesight. So the atheist me, who believed only in random collisions, and I was in trouble. I could not explain how these cells can form such orderly structure, so complex, minute details so accurately. So I kept on asking a professor in one of my rotations. So he took me out to lunch and he said, Ming, what's across street? I said, that's a car. He said, what's the difference between a car and a human eye? I said, human eye is a lot more complicated. He said then, can you imagine a random piece of metal assemble itself into a car? I said, no way. Then he leaned over, he said, how about human eye? Right then and then, he opened a window in my life, making me realize that life is not just about science, life is about science and the faith. The reason a human eye is so complicated, a structure can form in such a short period of time was because it was not formed randomly. It was formed with a specific design, specific purpose for vision. There's a designer behind it. So I became a Christian.
How did your faith affect your life?
You know, I've realized in my life that science provides the tools, and believe in Christ give me a sense of purpose. So, for example, for a long time I want to do research to help blind patients after injury to prevent their scar, to restore their eyesight. However, I knew that an unborn child can heal without scar, but I did not want to hurt the baby. You know, Bible said the life is sacred. So people said there's no common ground between science and faith. Is that true? Fortunately, I persisted. I didn't give up. You know, James 1:4 in Bible said that perseverance complete you. So I persevered, and I believe that God will show me the way one day, can do fetal research without hurting a baby. Eventually, I started experimenting on placenta, meaning after, I asked mothers after they give birth to the children that the placenta is always discarded. I said, could I have that? So I brought the placenta, as you see in the lower left picture, into the laboratory and started doing research. And eventually, I developed the amniotic membrane placenta contact lens. Then I put these useful for healing placenta contact lens that onto injured patients' eyes, and I found indeed these eyes can heal now without scar, just like an unborn child. So I've got 2 patents for amniotic membrane contact lens. Today, amniotic membrane contact lens has been used by tens of thousands of eye doctors throughout the world in nearly every nation. Millions of patients have their eyesight restored. So it proves that science and faith do have common ground. As I continue my journey as a Christian, and I started ask Christ that since did all these study, I went to school for 31 years, got 2 doctorate degrees, and I asked Christ that what should I use my hard-earned medical skill for? And he said, to help those who need the most help. And I said, who needs the most help? He said, blind. I said, yes, they need help. Orphan. I said, yes, they need more help. Children. I said, yes, they need the most help. So I established a nonprofit organization called the Wang Foundation for Sight Restoration, with all the surgeries donated to focus helping blind orphan children. Today, our foundation has helped patients from over 40 states in America and 55 countries. With all these foundation patients obtain their surgery free of charge.
Wow. When I heard about blind, that's remind me of the Bible, Jesus healing the blind. And also Jesus said, let the children come to me. So truly, I have feel really touched by your testimony. Dr. Wang, can you tell us more about your field? What type of surgery do you do?
I specialize in laser vision correction. And so here you see the collection of the laser vision correction that I perform. In the left upper corner is a procedure called SMILE. Actually, LASIK began to be out of date now. The SMILE, the small incision LASIK, is safer and more accurate. Is replacing LASIK. Correct nearsightedness, farsightedness, and astigmatism to enable us to be freed of dependence on glasses and contact lenses. Lower left corner is a procedure called implantable contact lens. For those of us who are tired of removing contact lens before bedtime, in this procedure, we literally put the contact lens inside of your eyes, so you never need to remove it. In the middle, you see that the forever young lens. That's for those of us who are middle age, who begin to having more difficulty with things up close, the aging eyes. The forever young lens is to treat aging eyes, presbyopia. And finally, on the right is cataract surgery. We're all going to get cataract at some point as we get older. And the latest technology we use is laser cataract surgery. We are the leading center in laser cataract surgery in America.
I see. Besides the surgery, I heard you also do research. Can you tell us more about the research or books or articles you wrote?
Yes, I've been very active in not only performing the best care to my laser vision correction patient, but also have been involved active in research to develop new technologies, but also in teaching young physicians these technologies. And here's the list of the textbooks that I published over the years in LASIK and the cataract surgery field. I feel that I've been very fortunate to have both training on both medicine and laser physics. So I just don't want to enjoy the expertise myself, and I want to teach other doctors who usually have strong medical degree training with a medical degree, but most of them have not had the opportunity to study technology laser in depth. So using these textbooks, I help these physicians to build up their laser technical knowledge as well.
I see. Dr. Wang also published 120 articles, with one being first author published on the journal Nature. Very impressive. Where are your patients coming from? Do you have some famous patients?
Yes, our patients have come from all over the world pretty much. And this is a diagram to show that we have helped patients from over 40 states in America and 55 countries.
Wow.
And in terms of famous patients, here's a photo of one of my patients, Dolly Parton.
Tell me about this picture. What were you doing with Dolly Parton?
Yes, Dolly is one of my patients. I perform laser vision correction for her. And then one day she came in, she said, Dr. Wang, I'm here today not for my eyes. I said, what are you here for? She said, I want to play music with you. And I looked at her, you know, this legend of country music. I said, you want to play music with me? She said, yes, I heard you play this Chinese violin, erhu, and a two-string instrument. And I want to sing a country song and have you play a Chinese instrument, erhu. That would be really neat, East-West collaboration. I said, okay, let's do it. So she took me to this studio in Music Row, and it was my first time into a huge the music studio with tens of thousands of buttons that I remember. And she sang a country song, and I played my Chinese violin, and it came out beautifully. It's one of those examples that when you combine these two different cultures from East and West, the product is even more beautiful than either culture alone. So in the
Wow.
music store, you see one of the CDs by Dolly called "Those Were the Days," and you see all these famous musicians, Dolly Parton, Alison Krauss, and all that. And then last one is Ming Wang.
Wow, that is great. Well, look at you are also a ballroom dancer. What is the story about that?
Yes, I learned some dancing when I was young, and then I wanted to bring the course of sight restoration for blind orphan children out of our medical clinic to involve the public. Because even though for these children, all the medical surgery will perform free of charge, but we still need to raise money to help them travel from different countries and the
Mhm.
lodging and staying and stuff. So since I love dancing, so I invented this concept called eyeball. It's a beautiful ballroom dance party, but the point is when you see all the beautiful dancing, they remind you how precious our sight is and how much we need to help those who have lost sight.
Wow, what a beautiful concept. Eyeball. I saw this book on Amazon, From Darkness to Sight. This is your autobiography. Can you tell us more about your book and how did it become a movie?
Yes, about 10 years ago, I wrote a book autobiography From Darkness to Sight, which basically has two parallel lines of From Darkness to Sight. One is those blind orphan children we've been able to help over the years, their journey from darkness to sight, but also it shows another journey, a parallel journey of the eye surgeon who restored their eyesight, how these patients help me come from my own darkness to light spiritually. And then a studio approached me and they said they want to make it into a movie. And so it took all these years. They eventually did it. And actually, October 27th, 2023, Friday, Universal Studio will release the film Sight, based on my autobiography From Darkness to Sight, in theaters across the United States. And the film
Yeah,
is about freedom, faith, and the seeking of common ground.
I see. I heard this movie also win the International Christian Award. Tell us about that.
Yes, this is a Christian film, and in a major, the 50th ICVM International Christian Film Award Festival. It actually beat several hundred Christian films and won the biggest prize of ICVM, the top prize, the Best Picture.
Wow.
And because this film has a very strong Christian message about seeing beyond. We need to see beyond our pain, circumstance, ourselves. That's the fundamental distinction between a Christian and non-Christian. Be able to see beyond oneself or not, and seeing beyond our own culture so that we respect other cultures and ethnicities, and also seeing beyond our polarization. In fact, I have published a Sight Movie Bible study, Seeing Beyond, a 5-week Sunday school study that goes through the 5 messages of the movie Sight and also the associated scriptures.
I see. I heard you also doing a national preview of the movie. Where are the cities did you go to or are you going to?
To bring awareness to this film. So I brought this film to New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Orlando, New Jersey, and I plan to bring to California, Seattle, Denver, Houston, Boston, and North Carolina, all over the country. My goal is to make a complete tour of all major cities in the United States. Let folks see this film, Sight, about freedom, faith, and common ground. So on October 27th, Friday, when Universal Studios releases this film in theaters across the United States, more and more people will be able to know about this film and go to see it.
Wow, that's great. I'm glad you're coming to Houston. I will definitely find out the dates and going to watch it. Also, friends in Houston and nationwide, if the movie is going to your city, please join Dr. Wang's screening. Today, you're very lucky if you're watching this program. Dr. Wang have generously shared a trailer with us. I'm going to put at the end of this interview. Please enjoy. And Dr. Wang, thank you so much for sharing your story and movie with us. I wish you great success in the movie screening. Thank you.
Thank you, Kay. Thank you.